Alrighty, welcome back. Episode 16, Duck of Doom. So, something that's been bothering me a little bit here is that the ducks like to come in and the way they're instantiating is all a particular direction facing away. So I would like them to face the direction they're flying in. So let's go ahead and fix that. So, first place we need to do it is here when we're setting the initial travel point. So we want the game object transform, and this is a cool little shortcut that Unity has, is this look at, and what do we want to look at is the end marker. So again, lowercase game object is this one, so the duck itself, and then the transform is going to look at some other game object in the world. And so of course it just makes sense, it's where we're going. And then we need to put this somewhere else as well each time we set some other end markers. So here we set an end marker here, although you know what might work here is to put it here. And the reason for that is either one of these is going to set a point and then exit that if else here, but it'll still be inside this bracket, so that should work. Alright, cross fingers. It may or may not work the first time. Still building, so here we go. 3, 2, 1, and ducks. Alright, look at that. They're facing the right way. And then when they go to other places, come back here. Fool duck. Alright. Alright, that was easy enough. So then the next thing we need to do, the ducks do destroy themselves at the end of a stage. And like we talked about before, the enemy manager needs to understand that the ducks have died and that it's time to start the next stage. So part of the function of that is the stage management, and part of that is the enemy manager, right? So the enemy manager manages the spawning of the ducks, and the stage manages the starting of stages. So it should also handle the end of a stage. So get separations of concerns wherever it makes sense. But there is some sense of overlap here between, and it's just a design point for us. Reposition my mic, it was too low. Where's the right place? Who should be knowing how many ducks there are? And how does it communicate back and forth? So it could be convenient. Let's see. So yeah, the stage manager tells it, enemy manager, spawn a certain number of ducks, right? Then this goes in and spawns that number of ducks. Sorry, yawning. So it should hypothetically know about the number of ducks. Sorry, just talking this out, trying to make the decision, what makes most sense. So it knows when I pass this in, so I could store that in something up here. And then when I spawn a duck, see right down here, I go ahead and D is a duck, I instantiate the kind that it passed through, which in this case is regular duck, game object duck. So I pass through a regular duck, it spawns one of those. and then I get a component of the duck and I set nav points, right? Could also pass it at that time a reference to this here enemy manager that spawned it, so that when the duck dies right here in the destroy, although there's two places it could destroy, down here and up here, so let's fix that real quick. That will just become die. That fixes that. And I was lucky that I designed it so when he takes damage and he dies, I could handle stuff in here for scoring if I want to, and then I still call the die, which is only just handling the fact that he's dead. Oops, did not mean to move that. So that seems like that would work. Sometimes you just have to pick and do it, and so private int number of active okay. So then when we're spawning ducks, we're going to set this number, and I guess the question is, should we increment it in the inside of this loop, or should we do it outside the loop? So if we do it here, we just say equals number. So like if we told it 3 ducks, then it's 3 right away. But what is there ever a possibility that we could spawn duck 1 and the player kills it before we're done spawning the last duck, which say it's number 10, because there's a wave with a lot of them? And I think the answer is yes, there is a possibility that could occur. So I'm going to put it inside here. Reformat the code. It seems a little messy to me. There we go. So yeah, I think the answer to that is yes, that could occur. So then in here we're going to say public void despawn duck. And then all this is going to do is decrement it. Minus means go down by 1. So if number of active ducks is less than 1, we should be able to tell it that it's time to start a new stage to the stage manager, which we don't have a reference to the stage manager, so private stage manager if I why is this entirely gray? It's like it's oh, because I have no code in it, and then it's just stage manager equals game object dot get component stage manager. And you may have caught this last time, but the reason I can just do game object is because I know all my controller objects are going to be on this game controller object, so the enemy manager and the stage manager are on the same one. So I don't have to go hunting the whole scene, and it's more optimized for me to find managers and stuff from each other. And so we need so there is a start stage. I guess that's I need to start coroutine. So yeah, in this case, so here we'd say, and it's private, so a public start next stage. And then here we can start this coroutine, right? So now this has a method we can use. should work. Show. I don't know if this will work. We'll see. I'm tired. Haven't thought it all the way through. Should have started, so let's go. Oh, I never call despawn duck, so the duck itself needs to so this has a private enemy manager, blah blah blah. Or actually, I guess, can I do this? I think this will work just fine. Public enemy manager. And when I'm doing this, should work, okay. Then we go back to the duck, and when he dies, he tells, it has to be before destroy. It should decrement or despawn one duck. So we're stage 1, hooking the ducks, boom, boom, boom. Stage 2, all right, it's working. There we go. We now have multiple stages. Okay, cool. Needs to be a little bit more variety and interesting and stuff, but we're just making stages work, so that's pretty good, pretty good. So we got stages working. At some point it would be nice to make some audible alerts there, you know, like could even have an announcer say next stage or stage 1 and then beep 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 go or stuff. I don't know, it sounds like a race car game to me, but sounds. So lots of things to do here. Let's go back to our notes. We still don't have a reload mechanism. Still don't have it firing 2 shells and then you must reload. We don't have anything that gives the player damage and anything that makes the player die. So what we want to think about is whatever the initial kind of game loop is. And one moment. All right, sorry, technical difficulties. So, where was it? Game loop. So, a thing you want to go for early on is what is your core game loop. I still have some ideas about where this game can go, but at least in the beginning, the core game loop is that you need to kill the ducks, right? It's called the Duck of Doom for a reason. At some point the duck is going to be able to attack you and such. But I've been thinking out when I'm not doing development, like, what does that bigger kind of Duck of Doom thing tie into? How does that play out? And I have an interesting idea. I'm not ready to quite roll out yet because I'm still thinking it through. But in any case, I guess I can hint at it. So I think it might be like a two-phase game where the first part of the game you're doing regular duck hunting, and it does have some way to end. But at some point, things start changing, and it's not the game you thought you were playing, right? Because of the Duck of Doom, right? So we do need to resolve what is the core game loop beforehand. So let's kind of jot down like possible end games for early stage game. So this isn't strictly a to-do list. This is kind of like design, documenting, brainstorming, thinking out loud here. So we could have limited ammo for getting through to a certain stage. We could have limited ammo, and you must get a certain score to get more. So in this one, if you don't get to that stage before you run out of ammo, so that's a game over. So I don't know. And then in the next one, if you, it's not the particular stage that'll end the situation, it's that you're just doing so bad that you just kind of peter out of ammo. Like let's say most phases spawn 5 ducks, and we start you off with 8 ammo, but for some reason you're really bad at it and you only kill 2 ducks. So we give you 1 extra bullet per duck, or 2 or something. I guess I have to work the math out. So let's do that. What would that look like? So there's 5 ducks, and you only killed 2. So that means there's 3 left, but you fired all 8 shots. All right. Ducks to start. 2 killed, 3 left, 8 shots fired, and so you have 0 left. And then we do the round summary, and we say, oh well, 2 killed ducks gives you, I guess this would kind of work out better if I said that this number was 10, right? If this number is 10, then I could say, then you get 2 ammo per duck killed. That means you would get 4 ammo back. So in the next stage, there's 5 ducks. There's just no way for you to kill all 5. You can only kill 4 normal ducks if they take 1 shot each. And so yeah, I guess the question then is, as long as you kill at least 1 duck each time, and you have any ammo left to begin the next stage, you could keep going. So I don't know, that feels kind of weak to me. That's not super good. Kind of like this one better now that I'm thinking it through. So the way this would look is, a goal comes up and says, kill 20 ducks. And then it says stage 1, right? And maybe you do have a limited ammo of every stage, so you got 8 ammo, and there's going to be 5 ducks. So that means if by the time that 4 stages, 5 ducks, 4 stages. Yeah, so you could miss 3 times per stage, and then you would get 20 ducks and be okay. But if you somehow can't get that by the time you're at the end of the 4th stage, If you haven't done that, then we could say you lost. Like, oh, sorry, you suck at hunting, or whatever we want to say. Which again, I guess that scenario is better than this one, but I'm not sure that it's fabulous. So I think at this point, I need to think this through a little bit more. I don't want to design too much more out. We have stages working, but we do need some little gimmick here. I have a more concrete idea for the second half of the game where the Duck of Doom is, because clearly the duck could come up and attack you or kill you, and then it's obvious that the game's over because you're dead. But this bit here, a little weak, so let's think it out. I will see you next time, and I don't know how Twitch works for sure, but if you can leave a message in my channel, if I get that when I check the channel, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, I'm not sure how we would communicate if you have any ideas. I need to get better at twitching, apparently. Alright, see you next time. Thanks for watching.